So it's 1 week before the deadline, and I've decided to go full on and redesign the entire game.
Saving our artist countless hours of work.
This is what it's going to look like.
This is where it all started. I would like to welcome you to the development of She Wrote Neon. At the very beginning of this project, I was voted Scrum Master. After a small while, I set up a Trello board and set a framework for everyone to file their work into. After about a week, Sophie showed notable interest in becoming a Scrum Master herself, and so I conceded the role to her. I was design lead and background artist for this project. I had a number of tasks that I was facing. In order to complete these tasks, I made sure that I was in direct communication at all times with my group. In order to design the game, we sat down and made a number of paper prototypes, brainstorming for different mechanics that we would base our game around. Playing around with a number of interesting mechanics, we decided on one, which was a platform gun. Simple and clean. You shoot, you spawn a platform, and you can jump on it. Once decided upon, I invited Jordan out to a cat cafe so we could design the game. We came up with fundamental concepts for a world, a player, narrative depth, environmental effects, animations, platforms, lighting, parallax 2D, and enemies. The style we agreed upon was a cyberpunk, neon-themed game. The result was the gun spawns neon platforms. And that's it. Since I did not know how to do lighting in a 2D environment in Unity, I did my own research, and I found out that we could use light maps in order to generate realistic lighting for our 2D sprites. I conveyed the information to Jorn, our programmer. With it, he was able to create a realistic lighting simulation within Unity for our neon platforms, giving any objects around them a lovely glow. In our original concept, shooting platforms only involved shooting single platforms with no interaction between them. We developed this further by adding rotation to the platforms, but we felt that something was still missing. In order to find out what that was, we went to see Sean and Odette for feedback. We literally asked them to bash our game.
So the parallax isn't working quite yet. There's some rough seams, but because we have this movement with the mouse, we can't really have a smooth parallax at all.
They suggested we make tables of different effects that would happen when spawning different platforms on top of each other. Therefore, we made a double blue platform bouncy, a double side platform across, and we made 2 vertical platforms, a small rocket. Each of the effects, with the exception of the bouncy blue platform, can be activated by right-clicking the mouse button. Further feedback from a game designer currently working on Iron Harvest in Bremen followed the thread of using effects in platforms rather than just the platforms by themselves. He proposed using hotkeys and eliminating the regular platforms altogether. Given the casual nature of the game, he believed it would be more entertaining to navigate the level using these special effects. Internally, however, not everyone was on board with this, and so we stuck with scrolling to rotate platforms and using Q or E to adjust them. Further testing was carried out during a test and chill hosted by Glitch and during a demo day that was hosted within the class. During this time, we received valuable feedback from our classmates. Their suggestions include making the purpose of the game more clear, making your orientation within the level more clear, adding UI, and improving player movement. The result from the various sources of feedback was overwhelmingly positive. Players felt that there was an emergent aspect that allowed for freedom. They could navigate the level in the way that felt most intuitive to them, be it spawning the blue platforms or trying for really big combos with special platforms. Building on teammates' expertise and diversity meant separating the work into different roles and dividing the tasks based on each member's individual skill set. For me, the challenge lied in understanding the other group members' strengths and weaknesses, so I would be able to predict what I could count on them for and what I should take care of myself. This is evident when taking the game's soundtrack into consideration. I reached out to a music producer asking him if he would like to help make music for our game, and he was more than happy to. The collaboration meant that we had high-quality sound assets to put into the game, most specifically, one 2-minute track. By recognizing Jorn's weakness as a music producer, but also evaluating his strengths as a rapper,
Let's just agree on that we deserve all the same. Okay, can you do it again?
we decided to make a rap of this track. It was implemented in the credits scene of the game, and we hope that this demonstrates our ability to autonomously function as a group of developers in a professional environment by outsourcing assets and collaborating when it is the better solution. Our audience's response for this song was overwhelmingly positive. Too bad there wasn't time for you to listen to it at the demo, but now you can hear it. User feedback was crucial to the development of this project. By implementing an improved UI, we clarified controls with the tab overlay. By showing players possible mechanics, we allow for emergence to happen with the interaction between those mechanics. And this was all thanks to the feedback we received from an in-class demo. We not only listen, but we actively seek professional and casual feedback to improve our product. During the final demo, we received specific feedback from Tim, who suggested that implementing a trailer that showcased the different possible combinations would make it more intuitive to players to try out these combinations for themselves. It seemed that there was a very steep learning curve, and beginners felt a little bit left out from the action. In order to decrease this curve and make the game more accessible to all, I decided to make this video in the afternoon after the demo and before midnight. The reason for that is simple. I realized that a report was not feasible in 8 hours. And what precisely do I want to show by making this video? That's quite simple. That I can quickly and efficiently implement new ideas based on user feedback. I do, like everyone, have my own strengths and weaknesses. One of them is the consistency of my communication within a project group. Sometimes I communicate well, and other times I'll be busy and it'll slip my mind. Another weakness is not relying on others' work. However, I have a polyvalent skill set, a culturally rich background. This means that I'm not afraid to try and build things I need myself. Every strength has its weakness, and in this case, on several occasions, group members put time and effort into creating assets for this project. While I did solve the problem, in my eyes, the true problem was having wasted time on developing a system due to miscommunication or a lack of communication.
Came up with a new idea, guys. Let's have the menu be the cutscene.
Saving our artist countless hours of work.
And title, start buttons, they glow a little bit.
Saving our artist countless hours of work.
So now I'm populating our cityscape.
I hope this demonstrates that I can critically reflect on my work and its effect on co-workers and the project development.
Saving our artist countless hours of work.
Well, it's been a long day, and I've been on the attack. Have a good night, Tim. Let's call it a wrap.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Don't record yet. I say 1, 2, 3, you idiot.
Testing for sound quality.
Yeah. She wrote Neon as the name of the game. Let's just agree on that we deserve all the fame. Our game is the best, a real piece of art. We're working so fast, we're done when you start. Want to play it? Go ahead. Look out for those mobs or your mind end up dead. 8 weeks of time, the deadline was urgent. Just play the game, I promise it's emergent. We are Group 5, we don't get paid. We made a poster, so give a high grade. We made this game with blood, sweat and tears. Please no reset, we want to pass this year. Yeah. Sideways, yeah.
Testing for sound quality.
I say 1, 2, 3.